See you later, big boy. Good morning. It's turned out nice again. Motherfucker. Well, it has. And well, it's a blue sky, but there's a few clouds up there. I'm just having my protein drink. Yeah. My breakfast. Now, if you're new to my channel, you've probably just unsubscribed. No, if you're new to my channel, these videos, these are my morning briefings. All right, this is a morning briefing. So in my morning briefing, I catch up with my most favouriteest people and my most favouriteest haters as well, because they don't miss my vids. And basically, I just outline what we're going to do for the day, tell people what I've been up to, do my acknowledgements, people that have bought me a beer in the last 24 hours, priorities. Stuff like that, really. Just a bit of a chinwag. So if you're here looking for like exclusive Liverpool news and insight, you're not going to get it in this video. And it's going to be very quiet today, I think. Well, God, anything could happen during the day. But I've had a little mooch around this morning and there's not much happening. Now, I do apologise. Listen, I should say I do apologise because I'm having my breakfast. And you might think, well, couldn't you have done that first? I could, but then it would take me even longer, and I ain't got much time. Right, let me just explain. I've got to put my finger in here, look, because when you have a drink like that, some of it drops on your face, so I just like... Right, let's try again. What was I going to say? I'm supposed to be at Barber's in 5 minutes, and I cancelled my hair appointment so that I could do this morning briefing for you. That's how committed I am to the cause. But I'm going to do this morning briefing and then I've got to go out. So let's talk to you about today's schedule. Right, live stream. I don't know what I'm going to do about a live stream today. I had to cancel last night, so I'll explain that in a minute. I was going to do a live stream this afternoon, but my time might be a little bit all over the place. I think I could probably still do one, actually. If I'm going to do a live stream today, it's going to be around 3 or 4 o'clock UK time this afternoon. Look out for, check my channel during the day. If you like my videos, you should always check my channel during the day because all of my videos will not come up on your subscription feeds or notify you. I think YouTube sends out 3 notifications in 24 hours or something. I'm not really sure. I appreciate your feedback on that if you've got notifications turned on the app, for example. The YouTube app is brilliant. You should download it, go to my channel, click the bell at the top, all notifications. But you could be missing out on videos because of that, all right? So you need to, just every now and then check my channel, click on my username and see if there's any new stuff. And my plan is to start doing more shorts. Now, not to promote the channel, not to generate revenue. YouTube shorts pay nothing in comparison to videos. The videos pay nothing, but if you think they're bad, the shorts are even worse. But what I want to do is, when I'm working and I'm sat at my desk and some news comes out, like an interesting quote or something very, very brief, I could quickly do a short and send that out to you rather than, you can't do a video like this, a long video, for something that's just, that I want to tell you. So I'm going to start doing the shorts as well. So you're definitely going to have to monitor the channel if you want to watch everything. Live stream. So live stream is probably going to be around 3 or 4 this afternoon. I just feel a bit all over the place today, to be honest with you. I didn't sleep very well last night. I was very tired last night and I didn't sleep very well overnight. So my head's a bit confused. I'm supposed to be at the Barber's in 5 minutes. I completely forgot about it. And I just rang her and said, can I change it? And I said, I'm so sorry for messing you around. One thing in life I hate doing is messing people around, especially if they turn someone away for me. Although normally my haircut takes about 20 minutes, right? She was all right though. I'm going tomorrow morning, all right? So I've got to do that. But I'm all over the place. I know when I finish this video, I'm going down to a training session for CF Benidorm, the club that I'm involved with. And I'm going to talk to you quite a bit about that in a moment. But I'll do the acknowledgements first and then try and explain to you what happened yesterday on that front. I haven't read the Spanish football dailies yet. I did go to the cafe this morning, but I had to deal with some emails and some accounting things and just all the tedious things you can imagine. So when I finish this, I will quickly look at the Spanish football dailies. Now, if there was something of interest, I will, obviously make a video for you or post details on the VIP members website. So if you don't see any videos come out, from Madrid, latest from Madrid, just think to yourself, Dunk's not found anything for us, all right? So that's that. What I want to do is I want to do the acknowledgements, and then I'm going to tell you a bit about what happened yesterday and what's happening today on that front. So video-wise, right now, I'm not sure we've got a lot to discuss today. I'm just wondering if there was a mail stand video. No, I don't think there is. I don't think there's anything on the mail stand. You guys cracked me up yesterday. When we did the fake video, and I said to you, have you got any channel names you could, not channel names, feature names to call a series where, I do the mail stand, right? And I read emails to you. And yesterday I read one and I thought, I wonder if people think I just make this shit up. And then I thought, should we make one up just for a laugh? And rather than me do it, I asked Dave, right, my AI assistant. And you guys love Dave, by the way. The feedback about Dave's brilliant. How could you not love Dave? He's fucking brutal. And he helps me so much. And it's the way forward. If you're not, invested in AI, if you're young, you're going to regret that, trust me. So if you're a young pup, you need to start learning about it because it's definitely going to affect your lives. I'll be dead by then, probably. But I'm just saying, if you're old, you don't worry yourself too much, but it helps me immensely, especially in medical things. Right. So I did this, got Dave to conjure up. I just said to him, create an email, as if you're an ITK kind of thing. It was amazing. It was really funny. And I said to you guys, I said, listen, if you've got any ideas for a series where every now and then we could just create something that's a load of bullshit, right? And there was some really good ones. My favourite one was from Ian Pierce, who is a channel member, by the way, I'll have you know. Squad! For sure. As Rafa Benitez would say, oh, Rafa, I bet I don't remember all this stuff I need to tell you. So Ian P said, don't call it IndyNo, because it's indeed, like nearly all the shite that we go on here is fucking exclusives. I mean, the notorious IndyKnow are on X. And he says, call it IndyNo. Now, should I call it IndyKnow, KNOW, or IndyNO, IndyNo? What do you reckon? But no, that's not. I think IndyNo. It's like I'm IndyNo. Yeah. No, you're not on the same wavelength as me. I really like that one, IndyNo. Ian, legendary. Okay, so what am I doing? I'll try and remember all these things I'm going to tell you about. Let's go to... now, I didn't do a live stream yesterday because I went to a board meeting yesterday for CF Benidorm, right? The owner, one of the owners, David Villa's business partner, right? The club president, key members of the team, a board meeting. So there was 10 of them and me, right? And I'm going to talk about that in a minute after I've done the acknowledgements. And it was for 4 hours. 4 hours. I thought I'll be down there about an hour. 5. I think it was 5 till 9 or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, all in Spanish. It was all in Spanish. I was like, It was the most difficult Spanish lesson I've ever had in my life, but actually very helpful as well. I understood a lot was going on, and the key points that involved me, obviously, I understood, and there was English as well. But when I say English as well, when they wanted to make sure I understood things, they said things. My Spanish is very good, but it helps you. I'm learning all the time, and being in a room for 4 hours with 10, I think it was, other Spanish, well, I'm not Spanish, 10 people speaking Spanish, was pretty hardcore, as you can imagine. And I'll talk to you about this in a minute. But because of that, I couldn't do the live stream last night. I was going to do the live stream at 6 UK. I thought, I'll be back by 7. I'll do that. But when I was down there, it was approaching that time, and I thought, I'm not going to get out of here. So I deleted it. I deleted the scheduled stream. That's why I couldn't do one yesterday. So there's no acknowledgements from the stream yesterday. And, I'm volunteering, to help the club, help the community, help people, grow the club, grow the fan base, and everything. And I do it because I love it. But it also takes me away from my work, clearly, a live stream. So a live stream, you can generate a bit of revenue because people come along and support me. So I'm sacrificing, my own things to help others, to be honest with you, which, at this time of year is probably the wrong time to be doing that. But what do you do? What can you do? I don't know. I take great satisfaction from helping people. Anyway, so there's no shout outs for a live stream because we didn't have one. My intentions are to have a live stream this afternoon. We shall see. And one tomorrow morning. There will definitely be one tomorrow morning because I'm looking forward to it. And a stream, around, I don't know, 10, 11 a.m. I don't know. Let's say 11 a.m. Is really relaxed and different. It's good. I like them. So hopefully you'll join me in the morning, especially if you're in a different time zone. You can't join the other ones. So I want to give a shout out to the following people. And I don't think there's going to be many because I didn't do a live stream. And looking at the super thanks, that's the love art under the videos. I don't know if it's one or two yesterday. Mark the Legend, obviously, channel member. Schwad. Mark supports me every day and says, thanks, Dunk. Get down that cafe, motivation day. And he gave me a little salute. Thank you, Mark, top man. And the other one was Niall, who I'm going to come to anyway in a moment. But I don't know if that was yesterday. It was the video, the mail stand, yesterday's meeting. I don't know if that was yesterday or the day before. But Niall and Mark, the legend, support me every day of the week. Amazing, right? Top people, and I'm very grateful for that. There was so that. There's no super chats because we didn't do a live stream. That's my only super thanks. They're the love out under the videos. Then in the video description, there's 3 links, all right, which you can use them if you prefer. That means I get it instantly. 100% is received. And Revolut, as you know, out of those 3 links, is the one that I consider my beer fund on my beer kitty on a Saturday, right? It's just, I don't know. It's become that, and it's become a bit of an informal, cheeky thing, and it's cool as fuck. But there's 3 links: PayPal, Monzo, and Revolut. And Elena, whose username is Left E, sent something through on PayPal, which was a significant contribution, I may add. And I couldn't believe it when it popped up last night. And it says, Dunk, I was raised by a single mom, and we didn't have much, but we had each other and what we needed. Put this towards your Revolut, and then there's like an emoji, like a bag of money. And enjoy your life with a love heart. Raise a toast to your mum too. YNWA Elena, aka Left E. How nice is that? It's nice because someone's supporting you and saying, go on, get yourself out for a drink. But not just nice comments, but also, raise a toast to your mum. And it's coming up to that time of the year, my mum's anniversary. I mean, it's February the 7th, but I don't know. I start to get more emo around this time of the year. And I just don't know if your brain knows. It's one fucking day. Do you know what I mean? And what difference does it make, really? February the 7th, do I miss my mum more on February the 7th than I do on the 6th or the 8th? It's weird how your mind's tuned in. I mean, on February the 7th, that date is a very key date in your life, or my life. And I know there's someone on here who lost their mum the other side of that date. So they always remember the date my mum died, because their mum died one day later, I think it was. And I don't know if your brain, like, why am I emotional now and not just February 5th, 6th, 7th? Like, now I can feel it. Like, I feel like I could cry. And I don't know why. And I just don't know if your brain looks back to, I mean, if you think back to it, my mum died on February 7th, 2012, right? And I was an only child, so I was very close to my mum, and she was everything to me. And, we were exceptionally close. We were best friends. She was everything, my accountant, my fucking relationship advisor, my best friend. She was everything, it's just everything. And when I left Scarborough, where I'm from, and moved up near Newcastle for a few years because I used to have, racing greyhounds there. Boardroom girl, Boardroom boy, faster than knowing, all these different Liverpool racing greyhounds, if you like. I bought a house and my mum bought one opposite on a cul-de-sac, because I weren't going to leave my mum, Mummy's boy, yeah, definitely, 1,000,000%. Not soft like that, there's many times we had ding-dongs, she put me in my fucking place, trust me. And so she should, she's my parent, right? And when I moved to Spain, my mum moved to Spain with me. We didn't live together. We had separate, accommodation and lives and whatnot. But I was never going to leave me, mum. And I took her when I went to meet Tom Hicks and George Gillette and everything in Canada and America. She went with me, because it enabled me to take her to places that, I took her to Dallas, to Southwark. She watched Dallas as when I was a kid. So it reminded her of her mum, and dad and whatnot. And she cried her eyes out at Southwark, the Southwark Ranch, because it reminded her of how I'm thinking of my mum now. Do you know what I mean? She's obviously thinking about when she watched Dallas and stuff. So I was very close to my mum. And I just wonder if, this period, January 2012, would have been the worst period, really, running up to the February the 7th, because there was a lot of things going on, and it was awful. The whole 8 months was awful, but then last few weeks was just fucking dreadful. And I just wonder if your mind knows, it was this time when you were going through it all. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I fucking roll on February 8th. That's what I think. And I'm sorry if I'm, depressing or something, but I'm just being me. And Elena, it's just some amazing people out there. Do you know what I mean? Just amazing people. And she also said, I can't log into, basically it's the VIP website. So please help. I can assure you, the minute I have finished this this video, I'm going to contact Charlotte, my daughter, who deals with all that, and she'll sort you out. And I'm just so grateful for that support, and it makes a big difference to me. It does. I mean, yeah, it's my beer kitty, lovely jubbly. But I just think that I need to get out on a Saturday, mate. After being in this house all week, usually, I need to get out and mix with my friends. I don't know, that sounds like I go pub crawling or something. I don't go to one bar, really. Usually meet my friend Martin, but he's going away tomorrow for a week with his missus. So I'm not going to see Martin tomorrow. So that's bothered me, because normally he'd come to football with us. And I like to see him in an afternoon and watch football with him and that. So tomorrow's going to be very different for me because we've got an away game in the afternoon. 5, so we've got a bus journey, and then I'll have a drink when I get back with my chick and that, so I don't know, it's good, and I'm just really grateful for people that, do support me, that can support me, so thank you very, 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 very much, Elena. She was raised by a single mum too, didn't have much. Yeah, we had fuck all, And I often think, I remember my mum when I moved out here, or when we moved out here to Spain, it was a big deal at the time. Now, I just feel like this is my home and, I don't know, when you've got something all the time, maybe it doesn't feel like when you first get it, if that makes sense. Maybe in relationships and life and everything. I open my door in the morning and I don't go, oh my God, look at it. I just go, oh, it's my garden. But when I moved here, I remember my mum saying to me, she went, can you just imagine if your nana and granddad could see you now? And what I mean by that is that, and it was going, I'm not going to go over it all again, but in yesterday's morning briefing, I spoke about how my nana and granddad had fucking nothing. We lived on a council estate. I lived on 4 council estates when I was a kid with my mum. And, if they, to go from that to being, out here on the Med and got a swimming pool out there, I never go in it. I think I went in that pool once last year, in a whole year. But do you know why? because I'm always at my computer on Cop Talk, and that's the truth. But my mum said, can you imagine if they could see you now, son, you know, or see us kind of thing? Like, they won't believe it that, you know, we live in this lovely place. Like I say, the song Our House by Madness just reminds me of my grandparents, my mum, my auntie, my uncle. We all lived together, loads of us in one house, really. It was lovely, lovely time, you know. And it was my granddad's anniversary the day, 14th of January, my auntie, my mum's sister. It was her dad. She messaged me, can you believe how long it's been? You know, it's like they were never here, really. But there you go, we're here, and we've got to suffer like the rest of us that are alive, right? We've got to carry on battling on. Right, okay, so that I don't think there's anything else on PayPal or Monzo. Revolut. Revolut's my beer kitty. Well, first of all, Niall. Niall's amazing. He contributed something significantly last night that's going to be a big help for me on the 20th, which is when my latest tax instalment is due. It is just, Niall's amazing. He really is. And he's on a school run, I think, or he's been on a school run this morning. He's a good kid. I'm very fortunate to have so many amazing people in my life. People that I've never met and might never meet. I'll meet Niall because Niall's going to come out here. I can't explain to you the satisfaction I get from doing all of this stuff. It's amazing. Okay, let me have a look. Right, there's nothing on there under transactions. Let me just check the British one. 14th was Chris. Nothing on there. I don't think there is. I'm feeling like I'm forgetting someone or something, and I would hate to do that. But that's it. I think there was one or two on Super Thanks and the one PayPal, I think. I'm sure someone's been missed off somewhere, but how could they have been? If I've please tell me if I've forgot you. I absolutely fucking breaks my heart when someone goes, don't you I just want to make sure you know. Then people don't say you didn't give me a shout out. They always just say, I just want to make sure you got it. Paul the other day tried to send something to me and it didn't go through on Revolut. And I need Paul to know that in case he thinks it has. He didn't respond in the comments yesterday. So I'm hoping Paul gets to see this. But again, tried to, and it's just amazing. So I think that's my my acknowledgements. Do you mind if I just have a bit of my protein drink? Because see what I mean about in the cap, look. Now if I tip that up, that's going to go all over me mush. So I didn't do the stream yesterday because what time is it? I went to the right. If you know, I'm involved with CF Benidorm, right? And it is a club down the divisions in Spain, right? So it's lower league football, if you like. And it's owned by David Villa. You remember the former Spain Barcelona striker? Very, very, very good player. And he's the DV7 group now. They've got like a player agency. So these people are agents. They've got academies all over the world. This is a very, very serious setup, and they own the club. And I've been involved with the club as a fan for a while, and I can't explain to you. I feel like I've found something. What's that? When people, what's that saying? Someone said it in a comment on here over there. You found your thing, Dung, or whatever it's supposed to. I can't remember what the saying is, and I really feel like I have. So I started like there's a Facebook group, for example, where people ask questions all the time. Where can I get tickets? What bus do I get? When a CF Benidorm playing and stuff like that. And I spend hours every day helping people. Like, oh, this is what you need to do. You need to do that. You need to do that. Right? And because of what I do with Cop Talk, right? This is how Cop Talk started years ago. I wanted to help Liverpool fans. You've got to remember when I started Cop Talk, there was nothing. You know, YouTube didn't exist. Facebook, Twitter, none of them things. Google didn't exist. None of it existed. There was hardly any websites about Liverpool. And the ones that were there were not very good, I'll be honest with you. And there was no official club website. The newspapers were just starting to come online and stuff. And there was a lot of Liverpool fans around the world that couldn't get news, really. You know, it was I suppose we had Sky Sports and things like that were in the UK, which were bringing people closer to their clubs. But outside the UK, it was very difficult, to follow Liverpool, really. And I created a mailing list, like an email, and used to send emails out all over the world to Liverpool fans for news, stuff that they couldn't really access. You remember you used to get them club calls and teletext premium rate numbers, and there'd be people saying, what's this headline? And I would ring it up and spend my own money, right? Probably 10 quid or something on an 0898 number. I think my missus at the time thought I was ringing sex lines or something. I knew it'd be a load of bullshit, a bit like when we see an exclusive today. But I would listen to it and then tell people, look, this is what it says. I was breaking it down, what I do today, but back then in a different way, listen to phone, to an automated machine, when you think about it. And I was the first person in the world to do that, right? And the mailing list then became a website, which is Cop Talk today, and just grew and grew and grew. And I got immense satisfaction from helping Liverpool fans. And it exploded, and businesses were throwing a lot of money at me. They tried to take the site off me, buy it off me and buy me. And we want you to do this for Arsenal, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Bayern Munich. They wanted to take me all over the world to try and replicate what I did with Cop Talk because they could see money. Whereas I didn't see money. I saw satisfaction. Need money, but it wasn't my priority, and that's probably why it succeeded, right? So I feel a bit of this with what I'm doing now. So I have this local club, CF Benidorm. Nobody knew who the players were. Nobody, unless you, like my mate that is heavily involved with it, he would know some of the players. But, most people don't know the names of the players, couldn't get information, didn't know why a player left the club, didn't know anything, didn't know anything about the opposition, nothing. Right? Including Spanish. So it wasn't just because all this information's in Spanish and the Brits don't understand it because they're lazy and won't learn the language. But it's not available in Spanish either. So I started digging. Every week I interview our manager. I'll be doing that today at some point. The opposition. So when we play a team, we're playing Eldense on Saturday, tomorrow. I've reached out to that club to interview their manager. They haven't responded because they haven't read my message. And sometimes that happens. It's not like they've got someone manning everything, right? But most of the time I get a response and I'll say, tell me a bit about your squad. Is it veterans? Is it youngsters? Is it a mixture of both? What were your hopes for the season? How are you feeling? Blah, blah, blah. And then make these brilliant interviews. They're brilliant. I'm telling you, right? And then do them in Spanish, so that the Spanish get to see it as well. I'm not just looking out for my friends and in English, British people, right? Or English-speaking people. And my Facebook page is growing. My Instagram is growing. All of that stuff. YouTube, I've got a YouTube channel. I've not really put anything on it yet, but I intend to. Please, if you're one of my peoples, look it up, all this shit. CF Benidorm Talk is the username. Instagram, X, Facebook, right? Type it in your browser, facebook.com/CF Benidorm Talk, right? YouTube, CF Benidorm Talk. Because the club love the fact that Liverpool fans from all over the world care about this club. And this club is going to the top, I'm telling you, right? And if you get involved with it now and have a bit of an interest, you're going to really be glad you did down the line. I think so. Because people that are showing interest in it now with me, if they ever say to me, I'm coming out to Spain, I say, we're playing Real Madrid next week, mate, I'll get you some tickets. right? This club, these people are serious football and business people, right? I was at the boardroom meeting yesterday. They were talking about 10 and 20 years, like you know what I'm saying, right? So, can you see how excited I am by it all, right? So, please excuse me, I must have my breakfast. So I start doing these interviews, and let's say we're playing El Dense tomorrow, right? So I'll tell people about the area, the club's history. We played an opposition team recently that I think held Real Madrid to a draw in Copa del Rey, which would be like a non-league side back in England holding Liverpool to a draw, or Man City. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, probably would beat Liverpool today under Anna Slot, like, but it's something else. It's just little fascinating things if you love football. If you're one of these people that's only interested in the Premier League and Liverpool, you won't get it. All right? And that might depend on your age. But if you're really romantic, I don't know if there is romance in this sport now, in football, for younger people. But when the FA Cup was on the other weekend, older people, definitely, me, my age group, older, and some people younger than me said, the FA Cup, what a great fucking weekend how football used to be. And what they mean by that is before it was overly commercialised. You know, before big clubs went, we don't give a fuck about that. And the FA Cup brings back that romance. And when you watch some of these montages, which I saw over that weekend, of some famous FA Cup moments over the years, nothing beats it. You can stick your Champions League up your ass in comparison. We all want to play, you know, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona. We all want to do that. It's great. We love them encounters, right? All the glamour and everything. But when you see a non-league side or a lower division side smash a Premier League side, I mean, like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? And you're not going to see that in the Champions League very often, are you? Anyway, so I set up CF Benidorm Talk to help people. There's zero financial gain in it for me. When I started Cop Talk, I never thought about money. Never thought about it as my hobby. And I still run Cop Talk today as a hobby. Still. Which is probably why I'm fucking not very good at it. You know, business side of things. Because I'm not that. I'm not a businessman. All right? I'm a football fan. But then as Cop Talk grew, I realised I had to make money because my hosting company, I was probably paying a tenner, 20, 30 pound a month or something for hosting. And then they sent me this bill and they went, you owe us 200 quid. And I went, what are you talking about? And they went, your bandwidth. So many people are visiting Cop Talk that our computers, servers can't cope with it. You have to pay for it. Well, my ass collapsed. There was also a time my computer stopped working. So I said to everyone online and I went, well, I can't do anything anymore. My computer's broke. And then a company called Big Red donated a computer. You know, or someone would send you, like you do today, you know, back then someone would send you something, you know. So, same thing, it was crowdfunding, but before crowdfunding was even a thing. And it'd be the same today. If that computer over there stopped working, right, I wouldn't be able to stream. I mean, I could go downstairs to my office and stream, but then I wouldn't enjoy it. It'd be too formal and the like. But, like, that computer there's, what's it called? It's the Mac Mini. It's all right, it does a job. The screen's shit, all right? That's why my eyes always hurt on that computer, because it's probably about 115 quid or something, that screen. But, you know, previously, I used to have iMacs. I had probably 3 or 4 iMacs, to be honest with you. Now I just use these Mac Minis, and they're not as good, but they do a job, right? But the point is, if it fucked up, what would I do? I can't go out and just go and do whatever you want, you know what I mean? So you still do crowdfunding to an extent, and that's why you have channel memberships and after fucking, you know, hand out, you know, please sir, will you get me a super chat? Do you know what I mean? I hate all that shit. Didn't have to do that in the start because the advertising revenue was so good. And that's, now the advertising revenue is so bad for everyone, that's why you now have clickbait. I know what I'm talking about, guys, trust me. So I start CF Benidorm Talk to help people. The club are noticing this. They see it, right? Oh, there's a fan here. Look, he's really enthusiastic. He's doing loads. Look at all that. He's interviewed manager. He's interviewed this, blah, blah, blah. Helping grow the club. The club grows, benefits me, doesn't it? I don't mean financially. I get to see the team go up the divisions and one day maybe play in La Liga like Elche or something like that, right? So then I'm at the games and I've got a good phone and I start taking pictures of the players and the managers and stuff like that. I'm very good at photography. I'm not very good at a lot of things, right? I'm good at what I do with Cop Talk. I know I'm good at that, right? And I know that maybe sounds big-headed, but it's all I'm good at. It's just, well, I don't know. The girls call me the silver tongue, but leave that to your imagination. But there ain't much I'm good at in life, to be honest with you. Like, I had this conversation this very morning with my chick, right? And I went, well, I'm fucking useless. I mean, look at my desk over there. What a fucking mess, right? And I'm not very good at thinking about more than one thing at once. I just can't multitask mentally, right? So I know my weaknesses, but I know I'm good at cop talk, and I know I'm good at photography. And I start taking, some pictures at the games of the fans, little video clips, and people are like, oh, that's great, that, I love that. Can you send me that picture? And the manager of the team starts resharing my photos. I take a picture of him, and what he does is, I'm sure I'll get one here. I'm sure I'll be able to show you one, for example. I won't waste too much time looking. Don't worry. It's so small. I probably can't find one because I do delete them. Okay, never mind. What the manager does, let me just check see if he's got any on here. All right, okay. For example, this is the manager, right? And I posted that picture. I didn't take that picture, by the way, but I'm giving you an example of what he does. You can see it says CF Benidorm Talk underneath the picture. And then he puts something over it. A lot of football philosophy is amazing. But if I'd taken that picture, or when I do take pictures, like this one, right? I took that picture last week, right? That's my picture, right? Which I thought was a pretty cool picture, by the way, with the blurred balls and all that. And he started putting them on, and he would say, "Thank you, my friend Duncan," and stuff like that. And he doesn't speak a word of English, right? And he's resharing my stuff, showing appreciation, right? And there was a time recently when I spoke to him ahead of a game, a few comments, and he never got back to me. And I thought, I wonder if I've upset him or something, like the last interview I did, or it's not like him not to reply. And I messaged him back and just said, sorry, boss, you must, I know you've been busy, don't worry about it. And he replied and he said, I was going to message you, Duncan. I'm not going to go into full details as to why he didn't. It was a personal matter to do with, a loved one of his not being very well, kind of thing. And trust me, not very well is an understatement. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. If there's anything I can do, which obviously I can't. And he appreciated it. And I checked, I said, it was a Friday, I think. And I said, I'll check on you after the weekend and, see how things are. And I did, as a friend, right? Sort of thing as you would do with a friend. And that week we went away to an away game and we won, I think. I think we won. Certainly the result was in our favour. We were very loud out the away fans. We had the flags up, the banners up. We were loud. We made a lot of noise. One of my friends was really heckling their goalkeeper. I mean, literal abuse throughout the game, Let's call it banter, right? With some colourful words, right? And it put the keeper off because we're right behind the keeper, right? Lower league footballs, right? You could get right, yeah, you fuck it, you shit, right? And afterwards, the manager... We had a coach for that game, and the manager boarded our coach after the game. And as he went up the bus, he shook every single fan's hand and he said, gracias, 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 gracias. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The entire bus, everyone. And he gets to the back where I am, with the naughty boys, right, my friends. And he gives me this big hug. And he's emotional, he's got tears and he's crying because of what was going on in his, private things. And he walked up the bus and he saw me, he went, Duncan, and he gave me a big cuddle. And I whispered in his ear, nobody could hear me. And I basically just said in very, basic Spanish or whatever, I hope, You know what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to like go into too much detail. You know, like I hope everything is all right with whoever, sort of thing. You know what I mean? And the things that I've, as far as I'm aware, all that's okay now because he told me later. But he came up the bus and, at Christmas, for example, right? I went to England to see Rob, my son, right? And I want to show you a picture. I went to England to see my son, and when I was in the airport, I saw these luxury biscuits, right, with a Union Jack on, and something I would never buy, right? But I thought that'd be a nice present for the boss when I get back, because I was going back. My flight landed, and I went straight to the game, and I took it with me. Look, and there's the boss with the biscuits, right? Again, just little touches, like, oh, look, and I said, these are from England today. I got these for you. And he went, oh, thank you. You know what I mean? So built up this connection with the manager, the players, because now I'm taking pictures of the players and stuff, right? And it's just all fall into place, like the community, the fans, everybody, right? So then I think, oh, should I get a proper camera? Because I'm using a phone and the manager might be bang opposite on the other side of the pitch. I'm having to zoom in, and the quality, as Rafa Benitez would say, for sure, the quality is maybe not fantastic, as Brendan Rodgers would say, but still good. So, cut long story short, I mentioned it on here. Amazing people like Henry the Hero and Niall will like encourage me, go and get it. Here's something to help you get it, and it's here. It's actually here. In fact, I can reach it because it's on charge right now. This is it. This is my camera, my Canon camera with a small lens. And then this is the bag, all right? It's no ordinary bag, but it's got this little side bit in here. It's got all these different things. So in here's another memory card and battery, and you can get into the bottom here. At the top, there's like little all compartments, and hopefully in here somewhere should be this fucking amazing zoom, all right, which has now fixed that problem of, identifying, zooming in on the manager on the other side of the pitch. And the pictures that I've got with this are incredible. Go and have a look. Go to CF Benidorm Talk on Facebook or Instagram, and you will see the pictures that I take. And I'm really, really, really fucking honest, man. I'm really happy with them, right? Let me show you. Like this one, just a simple one, look, after a goal was scored. I love that picture, and this, where's the goal? There's one, I know where it is, it's right at the beginning. I took 365 photos at last week's game. 365. Now, un momento, por favor. Just wait there a minute. There's the goal. Look, I got the goal. I was happy with that picture. All right, you know what I mean? Probably doesn't do it justice on here. But there's Jota, which is a brilliant centre-back. There's a centre-back that plays for this team, right? I am going to write to Liverpool about him. Fucking hell. I am. He's class, guys. He's absolutely class, right? And do you know, if you write to Liverpool, the scouting department, yeah, and tip them off, do you know they do look into shit? I know that firsthand, right? And I am going to write to them and say, there's a very young centre-back, right? He's Colombian, I believe, right? And he should be playing much, much higher, and he will leave the club. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to tip Liverpool off about him. I'm deadly serious about that. And anyone that goes to the games will tell you he's phenomenal. And he's only a young lad. He's fucking brilliant. So, where was I? So I get to the camera, and now I'm producing super duper pictures. I want to show you something, right? Wait there. Right? Just wait there a minute. Right? So, because the club appreciate things, all right, they'll say, can we use some of your pictures? I say, yeah, of course you can, right? So look, now I've got my own bib. Look, I look like a dinner lady when I've got it on. That's what my mates were saying last week. I've got my own bib. That's like an access all areas thing. They know who I am. Technically, I don't need to put that on. They know who I am now. Do you know what I mean? Like, when the players come out, the coaches, hey, Duncan, how are you doing? But now I've got my bib, I can go like down where I want, right? Just in case, maybe at an away game like tomorrow, I'll take that with me, right? Just in case someone goes, what the fuck are you doing out there? Do you know what I mean? So, and I invest in the, what do you call it? The gear. And the club see this, right? 0% finance, 2 years, right? $2,000, more or less, right, in euros for this gear. And there's another lens I need. There's 2 lenses. This one, right, is all right, but at the goal, it's not giving me if you need to be nearer the goal with this, right? This is an 18 to 45 lens, but Dave, my AI, said you need 50mm. You can get near the goal. There'll be no zoom on it, no backwards and forwards or out like that, right? You have to take a step back or go forward, but it'll give you that blur effect, right? And stuff like that, which is what I want. But that's 196 euros, right? So, but I do want it. That's my next investment. That's going to be my next thing that I'm going to do. Now, yesterday, all right, the referee from that game, that when I've just shown you some pictures, messaged me and wants some pictures. Have you got the pictures of me at the game kind of thing? First thing I thought was, did he fucking give us any fucking bad decisions? You could go fuck yourself, right? And I said, yeah, I'll have a look, all right? Because I like helping people, right? But it was pointed out to me yesterday, now you're being noticed by other people, not just people in your community, other clubs, referees, etc. Now, if I take a picture of a Benidorm player and they want it, all right, I'll give them it, the original. When you put them online, the compressed, they're not as good, right? But I'll give them the original free. The club use my pictures. After every game, I upload every picture to a Google Drive folder so the club can use them. It took me 6 hours after the last game last weekend to edit all the photographs and everything. It's crazy, right? And at some point, I'm gonna create a website, right? And I'm gonna put all my photographs on the website where people can download them for like say €3 or a couple of quid, a beer, right? Because I'm putting a lot of effort and time into it, and I've got to pay for this stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know people help me and support me, but like this new lens I want, right? 196. That's gonna give me perfect. It's just gonna do the job. But this all costs money. And then people are saying, can I have your picture? I'm not joking. In the last few days, I've seen my pictures everywhere locally, right? Where I've took pictures of people and they've took them and, people are grateful and all that. But you've got to have a fine balance. It's like, well, I don't want to charge you. I don't want to make money out of this. I just want to pay for the things. That bag, Niall bought me that bag. Niall that I always tell you about. That's how my people support me. Because they want me to be happy, because I know if I'm happy to do videos out buzzing. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, I don't know, man. My people's are fucking amazing. So, the club see all of this, right? And, I've met with the club before, the president and people, right? And then David Villa's partner, one of the owners, invited me to a boardroom meeting yesterday, right? So the club have already got me as a supporters liaison officer, right? So they saw the value that I was doing, a bridge between the fans and the club, right? So the club can feed stuff to the fans can feed stuff to them. That means I can look after my friends, right? That we go to all the away games. And if they say something, like, do you remember last week I did that? Got the card signed for one of the girls that goes to football with us because her dad was ill, and just little things like that. My friend, right? I want to do that. And make sure they're looked after. And if the team goes up the divisions, make sure they're not forgotten, right? So I'm the club's, supporters liaison officer, and I help with ideas and things like that, which have been implemented at the ground. Simple things. At the end of the games, nobody knew how many minutes of stoppage time. So I said, you've got to tell the fans. Next game, there it is. Just little things like that. And I work with and provide volunteers as well, right? So it's like one big community thing. So I'm doing the role of the supporters liaison. And the owners obviously think this guy has got almost 30 years experience, right, with football media. So I think it's fair to say that I know what I'm doing with this stuff, right? And that's not being big-headed, it's just being true. If you're a fucking plumber or a painter and decorator, you know your shit over someone that doesn't, that does it for a bit of hobby or whatever, right? You know, in the spare time or DIY or whatever. So they invite me to the boardroom meeting yesterday. Now, this also helps Cup Talk, right? Because it's given me insight as to how what conversations are said and behind the scenes. But it's not a Premier League club or a La Liga club, but does that mean it doesn't act any more professional? These are some serious people. The owner was saying, you know, he was out in Saudi the other day for the Spanish Cup, you know, and all that, Super Cup. And was telling me, you know, about who he spoke to in La Liga and plans that are coming up, things that are going on behind the scenes that the fans don't know about here, right? That are amazing. I mean, proper serious biz, amazing, right? Which I can't say about, but it left. I was able to leave that meeting thinking, fucking hell, these people are serious, man, right? And being in that board meeting, right, for 4 hours, you know, the manager was there, right? El Mister, we say the boss, right? In Spain, it's El Mister, right? El Mister or whatever, right? The Mister. And he was there. Just the team, not the team in the players, but the people that make it work, the people that on the commercial side, El Presidente, the president, the owner, etc. I was there sat in the middle. And they know me. There was some people there I'd never met before because they're more behind the scenes people. But the people from match day that are around the club, they know me, right? So they're cool. They come in and, hey, Duncan, you know, sort of thing. And I spoke to the owner. I've spoken to him before. And he was like, I've never felt so valued in all my life. Like, just the way it was like, it wasn't, you know, just blowing smoke up my ass or something. It was like, you know, we need people like you with this enthusiasm, right? And we need to tap into you and your ideas, you know, which they've done previously under my supporters liaison role. When should we play the game at the weekend? We have to move it. What time, Duncan? When would be, you know, things like that, because they know that I can relate to the British audience as to when they're going to be in the bars watching Liverpool play, for example. So the first thing I did was see when Liverpool and Sunderland were playing, because my mate Martin supports Sunderland and obviously I'm Liverpool, right? Amazing. So he then introduces me to people individually, and says that about these interviews that I've done and the photos and helping the club and blah blah blah, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And then when we're in the group meeting, it was in Spanish. I reckon I understood 60-70% of it. I couldn't understand every word, but I knew that what was being said, the message. And then when it was specifically relating to me, he spoke in English, right, to everybody. But we're in Spain, it's their language, and I've got to learn more. And the only way I'm going to learn more is by being thrown in at the deep end like that. And it was what I'm trying to say is they really, really value what I have done for them, and they've recognised that and propelled me now to where they say, right, you're in here now with us, the board. And I was talking to someone about this yesterday. They said, you're at the top table now, right? So these people, at football, they do not do that. Just let, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to big myself up. What I'm trying to say is that experience for me enables me to see how clubs operate, which is something that I haven't done at that level before. Now, I've been to Anfield, and I've been to, when Liverpool are playing in tournaments overseas, and been invited and sat in the director's box, right? And, I remember sitting with Rick Parry, you remember Rick and his ties, when he was chief executive of Liverpool. And I've had that level of rubbing shoulders with executives, chief executives of Liverpool. They've invited me into Liverpool before for tea and biscuits, because they know that I know something that they're trying to find out, right? And many years ago, there was something that I knew about, and they were like, come in for tea and biscuits, we need to have a little chat. Not because I'd done anything wrong, but they knew that I had the knowledge of something, right? I never went to that because I was like, I'm not getting involved, all right? But so I've had little bits of executive stuff. It's stuff that's never really interested me. I'm not interested in the suits. I'm interested in the fans, right? And, you know, obviously when George Gillette and Tom Hicks bought the club, you know, I spent time with them and they invited me out there. And so I've met owners, I've met chief executive, I've done all that. I've sat in the director's box. But now I'm part of the boardroom. Now, of course, it's not Liverpool or Barcelona or Real Madrid. But it's the same principle. This is a very, very serious professional club. And their ambition is off the scale, right? And we were top of the league. We've had points deducted, trying to get them back for fielding a player that was suspended. The rules are very ambiguous. You can't understand because it was a cup competition and a league game, and it's very, very complicated, right? So they're trying to get that worked out. But if they get promoted, the aim is to continue and continue and continue. And like it was said to me yesterday, you know, we could. This club should be a professional, like at the absolute top of, you know, the Spanish pyramid, you know, up the divisions. And if we get it right, we could maybe achieve that in 10 years. If we get it wrong, maybe it'll take 20, kind of thing. You know what I mean? But the ambition is there. And they care so much about the fans, which is maybe something that isn't evident in top flight football anymore. But I left the meeting feeling valued and satisfied, because I feel like, you know what, these pictures and stuff, it's helped. And I spoke to a friend about this last night that's involved with the supporters club here. And I said, I know this sounds daft, but I feel at peace when I'm out on the pitch taking photographs. You know, like when the players are warming up and training and stuff like that, I feel at peace. And I do. I really enjoy it. And you don't have to have fancy cars, fancy holidays, your parents anymore, your grandparents, all the lovely people that have left you. You don't have to have everything to still go through life and try and be happy. And I've found my thing, which my thing has always been helping people, whether that's through my website Cop Talk or here or with the local club, or whether it's when I'm in an airport helping someone carry a case, a bag up the stairs, giving up my seat on a bus, whatever. I'm that kind of person. And I feel so happy doing what I'm doing. And I just think it benefits me and Cop Talk, even though it takes me away from Cop Talk a little bit, which, you know, financially affects me a little bit. But it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. And when I was at the meeting yesterday, both the owner and the president were telling me stories, told me a brilliant story about Rafa, because they're friends with Rafa. Told me a brilliant story about Rafa when he was at Valencia, which I'm happy to go over that with you, but I'll be here for much longer if I did. It was amazing. They were showing me cuttings from newspaper articles to do with Rafa years ago. Friends with Rafa, Morientes, all that, Pepe Reina, Aurelio, all these different Liverpool players, and talking about them and stuff. It was just giving me additional insight. So like I can now make a video about this story about Rafa, right? Or Rafa, as Tom Hicks would call him. Well, he won't call him it anymore, but as he used to call him, Rafa. I'm not taking piss there, by the way. Tom Hicks was all right with me, all right? And believe it or not, I think he wanted Liverpool to be very successful, and he had some really good ideas, but the markets collapsed and we all went pear-shaped, so I'm not going to defend that. I got into trouble over writing an editorial about Tom Hicks once, so yeah, I've done my, yeah, I've been critical when right. Someone reported me to the police for an editorial I wrote once. Can you believe that? Some fucking weirdos about it. Anyway, just stories. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can tell you this story about Rafa. It's just fucking brilliant. And I just think all these things that help and contribute to everything. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling on. I really enjoyed it. It was good. I'm happy to help, you know, and I know some of you, do follow CF Benidorm now as like your little Spanish team. You know what I mean? And I really like that. And I promise you, that if this club is successful and does climb the leagues, that those of you that are saying, how did Benidorm get on? Or you followed the CF Benidorm accounts that I'm doing. I remember these things. And there will be times, they have, they host, La Liga teams sometimes in friendlies. I'm aware of, possibilities of some Premier League teams and stuff like that. I can't go into too much about things like that. But, if you're ever here, first of all, if you come over here on holiday and Benidorm have got a game, I'll make sure you go to that game. I'll make sure you've got your tickets. I will get you there and back. And it won't cost you a penny because you're showing interest and you're backing me and supporting me and my love for football. And that will apply if we climb, right? Brian Partridge has been to the games with me. He's bloody brilliant, he's Brian. One of my viewers. Been a channel member right from the start, by the way. I want to see if I can... What's this one? Not that one. This is a message that was posted in Spanish this morning on social media. And this person said, he's actually a German gentleman, but he speaks Spanish. He's been here for many, many years. He's heavily involved with the club as a supporter. And he said, thank you, Duncan, right? Because I got a photograph of him, right? I don't know if I can show it to you. I'm not sure where it is. I took a photo of him last week, and which I thought was super cool. Let me try and find it for you. And then you can see the context, what I'm talking about. I've got all my pictures here. There he is. This gentleman here, which I think is a lovely photograph, right? As you can see. Okay? And he sent me a message today in relation to that. He said, thank you, Duncan, about the photo. And then it translated, it means a hug. It's like, maybe sounds a bit weird saying a hug, but it's basically like saying, cheers, thanks, buddy, sort of thing. Your CF Benidorm photos are a benefit, publicity, and at the same time, a recognition for our great team. Your footballing heart beats for our team. Thank you, my friend. And I had to get Dave to translate all that for me, and he said, lovely message, that old school football appreciation, the way it should be, none of this soulless content creator nonsense, proper game, proper people. And that's what I mean, if you love football, it gives you something just to cast your eyes over. When I was a kid growing up, I supported Liverpool, but I always kept an eye on how Rangers were doing in Scotland or stuff like that. Real Sociedad in Spain because of Ian Rush. Was it Ian Rush? John Aldridge. They look very similar. No, Ian Rush went to Juve, but no, I did. I kept an eye on Real Sociedad because of John Aldridge and stuff like that. So yeah, it was an eventful day yesterday. I left. I've already started working on some things today in relation to it, and I'm sure you can see how enthusiastic I am about it. It gets me a break away from the cop talk stuff, which I know some of you won't understand. But I'm happy. It's my passion. I love football, and to play a part in it all is so rewarding and putting a smile on people's faces. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go now. If you want to put a smile on my face, there's links in the video description to Revolut. That's me beer kitty for tomorrow. Right, if you did enjoy this video, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. Maybe the video is not what you want. I don't know. My people's watching my videos, and I'd rather be real and tell you what's going on. And maybe you can see the passion I have for football that's there. And like I say, Cop Talk, I was extremely successful with Cop Talk, and I hope that I can be extremely successful with this. Not in a financial way. That's never going to happen, I don't think. I'm not going to knock it back. But what I mean is that's not my intention. My intention is to help people, so help the club. Please thumbs up the video. Drop me a comment. There's a love out in the video if you want to get a super chat. Hooray. I always give a shout out to people that do that. And what's the other thing? The 3 links in the video description. As you know, if you want to support me that way, Revolut's my beer kitty for tomorrow. I'll be going to the game tomorrow. I'll be taking my gear and updating those platforms. CF Benidorm talk. And like I said, I'd love you guys to be involved. and be on that journey with me. And those of you that do come on that journey with me, do follow those accounts, do interact with me about it. If that club becomes successful, and I'm convinced it will be, you will reap the rewards too, because I'll be like, right, you're coming over and I'm gonna take you to see him. You know what I mean? So little things I can do. All right, guys, I've got to go. I'm going down to training now, to the training session, to take some photos. So they'll be on there soon. All right, take care.